We live in an age of constant digital contact. These networks have removed the distance between us, forcing a new kind of global proximity, where we can no longer look away from the world's deep inequalities. While citizens in developed regions focus on the protection of democratic freedoms and civil liberties, billions of others are still locked in a physical struggle for basic survival, securing the food and shelter many of us take for granted. This structural divide illustrates the tension. Families live in hand-built brick dwellings, while gleaming white high-rises set only a few blocks away. This divide forces us to reevaluate how we measure human progress. If global experiences are fractured, a single, unified definition of success may be impossible to find. Historically, our default measure of success has been the standard of living.
It's a quantifiable look at material wealth, primarily calculated by taking a country's total economic output, its GDP, and dividing it by the population. The problem is that a national average can be a misleading piece of data. A high GDP per capita often acts as a mask, hiding the fact that the vast majority of that wealth may be concentrated in very few hands. Consider Canada, a nation that consistently ranks near the top of global wealth statistics. Yet in communities like the Cashettawan First Nation, residents were evacuated due to tainted water. This girl is protesting for a right that the national averages suggest she already has. Material goods and services are easy to count, but they don't tell the whole story. Standard of living provides a tally of what a country produces, but it stays silent on who actually gets to use it. To get a clearer picture, we must look at quality of life. This shift moves us away from objective dollar amounts and into the subjective, personal well-being of everyday individuals. Quality of life priorities change depending on where you live. OECD data shows that in Latin America, education is the top priority. In North America, the focus shifts to work-life balance, while safety is the primary concern in the Asia-Pacific region. For many, a good life is also defined by cultural preservation. Modern Inuit populations often prioritize traditional practices like drum dancing or soapstone carving, viewing these heritage-based activities as more vital to their well-being than simply accumulating modern material goods. Because quality of life relies on these intangible values, it cannot be solved with a simple economic formula. It requires a measurement system that accounts for the complexity of human experience. The UN created the Human Development Index, or HDI, combining national wealth with life expectancy and basic literacy. While a significant upgrade, it struggles to capture human intangibles. It cannot calculate the value of freedom from discrimination or equal protection. Those missing pieces are outlined here in the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This document was designed to set a global baseline for human dignity, regardless of a person's nationality or economic class. This framework provides the ideal, but it lacks a global enforcement mechanism. International bodies can monitor and report on human rights abuses, but they cannot force a sovereign government to change its laws or behavior. If the UN can't force a government to provide safe water or equal rights to its people, then who can? The responsibility for securing those rights falls to the citizens themselves, through democratization. This is the mechanism that allows people to organize and vote, creating the legal pressure necessary to turn theoretical human rights into local laws that their own governments are actually obligated to follow. Human rights aren't usually a gift from the top down. They are won through democratic systems that allow citizens to speak out, demand their basic necessities, and protect their own cultural values. In our connected world, this role is expanding. A global citizen is someone who uses these international connections to identify local disparities and work towards solving them. Assessing these problems requires a strategy. Tools like a SWOT analysis allow groups to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of their own teams, alongside the opportunities and threats in the environment where they want to help. This strategic approach allows small actions to bypass bureaucratic gridlock. Programs like Bike Town Africa bypass broken infrastructure by providing specialized bicycles to healthcare workers, giving them the mobility they need to deliver HIV medicines to remote rural villages.
Ultimately, a society's progress is defined by the specific actions taken to ensure a life of value reaches every citizen, regardless of what the national averages say.